All right, buckle up everybody, because today we are diving deep into the world of wealth creation.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Wow.
We are dissecting a YouTube video by Myron Golden
Okay.
called Creating Wealth PT.
Part 2.
So I guess there's a part 1 out there as well. But in this video, he uses examples like Bill Gates,
Oh, wow.
Steve Jobs, and even the sharks from Shark Tank.
Okay, so some big name.
Yeah, some really big names to show how they built massive wealth. And what we're going to do today is break down Golden's key principles and see how they can actually apply to you listening right now. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the listener.
Exactly.
Making it practical.
that's the goal.
Awesome.
So one of the things that really stuck out to me was this idea that he really stresses this idea of value over cost.
Yeah, he really flips the script on how we usually think about money.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, he wants us to move away from always worrying about cost and instead focus on the power of value.
Okay, so it's not about being cheap.
Right.
What is it about?
It's about understanding that true wealth doesn't come from cutting expenses. It comes from creating something that people are willing to pay for. Something that solves a problem or fulfills a desire or just brings people joy,
Okay.
you know? He actually has this really great quote.
Ooh, a quote.
Yeah, he says, "Poor people know the cost of everything and the value of nothing. Rich people know the value of everything and the cost of nothing."
Wow.
And of course, that's a generalization, but it highlights a really important difference in mindset.
I like that quote.
Yeah,
It is a generalization, but I think it really drives the point home.
it does.
So it makes you realize that being focused on value might be the key difference between somebody who struggles financially and somebody who builds wealth, you know?
Exactly. And once you understand how crucial value is, you can start figuring out how to leverage it. And that's where his 2 formulas for wealth creation come in.
Okay, 2 formulas. Lay it on me.
He calls them high value, low volume.
Okay.
And low value, high volume.
High value, low volume versus low value, high volume.
Yeah, it kind of rolls off the tongue, right?
So can you break that down for me?
Yeah, so think of it like this. Selling a few really expensive airplanes every year.
Okay.
That's high value, low volume. You're offering a high value product to a small, very select group of buyers.
Okay.
Walmart, on the other hand,
Okay.
they're a great example of low value, high volume. They sell tons of different products
Right.
at low prices, and they make their money by selling a huge volume of it.
Okay, so those are pretty clear illustrations, but I mean, like, most people probably can't just start selling airplanes
Right.
or open a Walmart.
Yeah, he definitely makes the point that neither approach is automatically better.
Yeah.
You know, it's about finding what fits you best.
Yeah, okay.
Your skills, your resources, your passions.
Okay.
So for someone just starting out, high value, low volume might mean offering specialized consulting services to a niche market,
Okay.
you know? Or low value, high volume could be like creating an online course that appeals to a broader audience.
So the key is figuring out what kind of value you can offer
Yeah.
and who would want it.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And that actually leads to another really important point he makes about the traditional 9-to-5 job.
Ooh. Right.
Whole idea of trading your time for money.
I think this is going to hit a little close to home for some people.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
it's important to think about, you know? He argues that a lot of jobs, while obviously they're valuable to society,
Of course.
represent what he calls a low-value proposition when it comes to building personal wealth. And he's not saying that the work itself is unimportant, right?
Right.
It's more about the structure of trading your time for a fixed hourly rate.
Okay.
It puts a hard limit on how much you can earn.
It's like that joke he tells about the boss being out on the golf course
Yeah.
while everyone else is stuck in the office.
Right.
There's some truth to that.
It really highlights how that kind of exchange can be imbalanced.
Yeah.
You're selling your most valuable resource, your time, for a fixed price, while someone else potentially benefits way more from your work.
So if you want to control your time and your earning potential, you need to think outside that box.
You do. And to illustrate this, he uses this thought experiment.
Oh, right.
He asks, is it easier to get $20 from one person or $20,000 from one person?
I know which one I'd rather try.
Me too.
Yeah.
But then he flips it and says, What if you created something worth $20 that 1,000 people would want to buy?
Okay.
Right.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, so instead of trying to get one big chunk of money
Right.
from a single source, you're creating smaller amounts of value that reach a much bigger audience.
So you're not limited by how many hours are in a day.
Exactly. It's all about scalability.
Okay.
Figuring out how to scale your value, whether it's through a product, service, or even an idea, is where the real potential for financial freedom lies.
My mind is already spinning with all the possibilities.
I love it. But before you go and quit your job, let's dive a little deeper into how to actually put these principles into action.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm starting to see how focusing on value can really change the game. But I'm wondering how to actually put all of this into practice. Like Golden doesn't exactly give us like a step-by-step guide,
He doesn't.
does he?
No, not really.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all formula for building wealth.
Right.
But what he does give us is a really usable framework for thinking about it.
Okay, I like it. So where should people even start if they want to use these ideas?
I think the most important thing, and he really stresses this, is
Yeah.
identifying your unique value proposition.
Okay.
What are you good at? What do you know that other people would be willing to pay to learn? Think about the problems you can solve or the needs you can fill. Maybe it's a specific skill you've honed or a talent you have, or even just a unique perspective that you bring to the table.
So it's more than just finding a passion.
Right.
It's about finding a passion that actually has value to someone else.
Exactly.
Okay.
And remember, value is subjective, right? What you might think is totally ordinary
Yeah.
could be incredibly valuable to the right person.
Oh, for sure.
So don't underestimate yourself.
It's like you're looking at yourself through like a new lens. Instead of just thinking about what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
You're thinking about how that translates into something that benefits other people.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
And once you have a sense of your value proposition,
Okay.
then the next step is figuring out who your target audience is.
Right. Finding those 1,000 people.
Exactly. Not everyone is going to resonate with what you're offering.
Right.
So you have to be strategic about who you're trying to reach.
This takes us back to the high value, low volume, and low value, high volume thing.
It does.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you aiming for a smaller market with a higher price offering or a broader audience?
Exactly.
It's like choosing your own adventure. Right. Are you going to build a boutique or a superstore?
Yeah. There's no right or wrong answer,
Right.
but you have to be intentional about which path you're going down.
So this is all really insightful, but we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that this isn't easy,
Right.
right? Building wealth takes work. It takes dedication.
It does.
What are some of the challenges that people might face, along the way?
That's a great point, and it's something that Golden acknowledges too.
Yeah.
This path to wealth creation, it's not always going to be smooth sailing.
Of course not.
There will be setbacks, there will be obstacles.
Right.
You might hit roadblocks or even experience moments of self-doubt.
Looks like the entrepreneur roller coaster.
It is.
Right.
Huge highs and lows.
The highs are amazing, but the lows can be rough.
They can.
Yeah.
And that's why having the right mindset is so important.
Okay.
He talks a lot about cultivating resilience and perseverance
Mm-hmm.
and really believing in yourself and your vision.
So it's not enough to just have a great idea.
Yeah.
You have to be able to weather the storm.
You do.
Yeah.
I think it's also about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Okay.
Mentors, advisors, a supportive community.
Right.
People who believe in you, who can offer guidance and encouragement.
It's about building a team
Yeah.
so that when you experience those lows, you have people to help you out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And something that I think is really important that Golden doesn't actually talk about a ton
Yeah.
is that the journey is part of the reward. Like building wealth isn't just about the destination, it's about the skills that you develop,
Oh, for sure.
the knowledge you acquire, the personal growth you experience along the way.
Yeah. Even if you don't become the next Bill Gates or whatever,
Right.
just that process of building something valuable can be incredibly rewarding.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe you will become the next Bill Gates.
Maybe.
The point is to just embrace the journey and learn as much as you can along the way.
I love that. This has been really eye-opening. We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
The importance of value, those two formulas for wealth creation, the mindset that you need, and even the importance of the journey itself.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
As we wrap up this deep dive, I keep thinking about that idea of reaching more people. It really seems like the key. Like the secret to massive wealth.
Absolutely.
Your earning potential, it isn't tied to just the hours you work or even the number of clients you can handle. It's about multiplying that value and reaching way more people.
It's like you're creating a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Think about the entrepreneurs we mentioned.
Okay.
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Shark Tank investors.
They all found a way to offer something that like tons of people wanted.
Yeah.
Millions, billions even.
It's about tapping into that like shared desire or that common need.
Right.
And offering a solution.
And it's not just about like selling products.
No.
Right. It's about creating value. Yeah.
In any form.
In any form.
Entertainment, education, inspiration.
Totally.
Even just a moment of joy.
A musician who writes a song that millions of people love, or a teacher who makes an online course reaches students all over the world.
So someone's listening to us right now and they're excited, but maybe feeling a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you want them to take away from all of this?
You know that challenge that Golden gives?
Okay.
What's your $20 worth of value?
Yeah, I like that.
What can you offer that people will pay for? And then who are your 1,000 people? How can you reach them?
It's like finding that sweet spot where your passion and skills meet what the world needs.
Totally.
And taking that first step and putting yourself out there.
That's where the magic happens.
It's so important to remember that this is a journey.
It is.
It's not a destination.
Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you have that right mindset and focus on delivering value,
you can do amazing things.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap up.
I agree.
We've gone really deep today.
We have.
Challenged some of that conventional thinking. Hopefully inspired some new ideas.
Definitely.
So until next time.
Until next time.
Keep seeking that knowledge.
Keep asking questions.
Keep diving deep.